Etude, Quarantine Edition. Welcome back. Since we're all staying home these days, and keeping well, I hope, also to try and keep the mind and muscles from atrophying too much, I thought I'd take this chance to continue sharing with you some tips and tricks from my own routine, which you could apply to yours through the wonderful vehicle that is the set of 24 Caprices by Pure Road. So let's get on with the marathon. To be frank, number 8 is pretty standard and really nothing that we haven't seen before. Like number 2, for example, it's one of those blank canvas caprices that you can use to work on a wide variety of aspects. However, today I'm going to use this caprice to talk about a very specific subject, one that probably is not talked about too often. I don't know about you, but as a little kid growing up, whenever I was faced with any repetitive figures, like what we find at the beginning of this caprice, it would be inevitable that my mind and subsequently my fingers, of course, become tangled. It just wouldn't be possible for me after a short while during execution for my mind to not freak out and collapse. Perhaps it's not quarantine, maybe I've just been nuts all this time. But anyway, over time, I would find a way around it step by step, and you realize that it's purely to do with the way you think during execution. So, using the beginning measures of this caprice, I'm going to share some basic ideas to help with this particular challenge. Alright, so the essence to these exercises is how we vary or change up patterns, both mentally and physically, even though we're repeating the same figure over and over again. Starting with the left hand fingers, with more concrete examples. The difference between all these is very subtle, but that's really all it takes to vary things up. And once you do, try increasing the speed and alternating between these different patterns. This same idea of patterns could also be applied to the bow arm. So for example, we could use, in this case, accents. And subsequently, in your mind, above everything else, you can also mix up the way you think. For example, I could start by thinking of each figure as being divided into 2 or being divided into 3, and alternating between the two. Then once you get used to that, then you could also think in bigger groups. So in a sense, that means taking a step back and trying to perceive a bigger picture. All in all, I've just given you a little taste. These are just several examples in a limitless field of possibilities. You could do a combination of all the above, develop off these to form your own patterns, and find out what works best for you in practice. The point of this is that, especially in performance or whenever you're under pressure, you do not get stuck and you're anything but inflexible. In the end, again, it's all in the mind. So that's that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you got a kick out of that. If you did, feel free to subscribe to my channel to follow along in this series and for a lot more to come. Stay safe until next time.